What's going on? Jack here with our first ever Learn to Lead episode. These Learn to Lead episodes are about equipping and challenging you to lead wherever God has placed you. So let's get into our first episode. This is an iceberg. Maybe you've seen one in real life, but let's be honest, most of us haven't because we live in Texas. And so an iceberg, what you see is much smaller above the water. But below the water, the iceberg is huge. Maybe you've heard about a little ship called the Titanic. The Titanic got in trouble because they ran into an iceberg. What they saw on the surface seemed small, but what was below the water is what got them into trouble and ultimately what sunk the ship. You see, in our leadership, that iceberg is us. That top 10% is our skills, the things that we show to other people. But the bigger portion, the portion under the water, the thing that most people don't see, is our character. And our character is so important to our leadership. And part of our character is developing 4 key areas in our life. One of those is self-discipline. Doing what's right even though you don't want to do it. That's hard to do, but self-discipline is so important. Core values, or understanding what your values, your principles, your morals are all about. The other one is your self-identity. Your identity in Christ and who you believe yourself to be as God says that you are. The other one is your emotional security. Are you maintaining and stable in your emotions? So these 4 areas of your character really are important to work on. You know, Thanos is kind of a silly extreme example, but there's people that really have their legacies destroyed because of the character. People like Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong was a guy that was just killing it in the cycling world. Medals after medals after medals. But years later, they found out that he was doping, he was cheating, and all of his titles, medals, got stripped away. This is true of athletes, of celebrities, people like Bill Cosby, who had an incredible legacy, but because of their character, their legacy is forever tarnished. And maybe you personally know someone like this, a leader like this, but for many of us, we're not really thinking that far out in advance. But the truth is that your character matters, right? Those 10% skills of that iceberg at the top, those things are great to work on. But ultimately, what's gonna matter the most in the long run is your character. Your character is going to affect your legacy. And so working on your character on those 4 key areas is going to be so important for you to grow as a leader and to leave a legacy in the world around you. Right? Character is all about being the same person no matter where you are, whether that's your classroom, your home, or on social media. That you've got character in all of these places. And that's so important for you right now to think about the legacy you're going to leave in the future. So we hope that these Learn to Lead episodes are encouraging and challenging to you. We've put questions and a passage for you to read through below here on the description. That's a starting point for you. Work through that and really think about where your character is really at. Thanks so much for watching this first episode of Learn to Lead. We're so excited to see the way that God is going to use you in a powerful way to change the world. See you next time.